Chase perfection, catch excellence. Inherit quality, endorse ethics. Cross the limit, dream beyond.
I am stuck in my mind, I can't explain.
Green Valley Public School, Nellikaparamba, Mukkam, Calicut.
When I'm lost and far away.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to the exclusive lecture series. This is
Aman Mansoor of class 7th.
yeah,
Now we are dealing with the chapter 5 Goluk Grouse and Nose.
right. It is the chapter 5 of your supplementary textbook, An Alien Hand. Welcome, Aman, to this
Thank
lecture series. Right. So let's enter the chapter. Okay. So this chapter is written by.
Rudyard Kipling.
So yeah, Rudyard Kipling is a writer here. What comes to your mind, Aman, when you think about Rudyard Kipling?
The Rudyard Kipling is a writer of Jungle Book.
The Jungle
and Kim was a famous work of it.
Yes, Kim, we will see his works later on. Okay, let's see a little bit of his childhood, because you as children will have an interest to know about the background of Rudyard Kipling. So let's see what we have here.
He is born in Bombay.
In British India,
In
right?
Britain.
Yeah. We will see when he was born. I think it is 1863, we will find it out later. And he was born in a family of professor of the local school of arts, and his parents were
John Kipling and Alice Kipling.
Yes. And he was sent to a boarding school in England. The next 6 years from October, he was in a private guest house. Okay.
Yeah.
Later, in 12 years, he joined the prestigious military academy. So you see that he has a strong background. So he, being a part of military academy, he had such a good. So what comes to your mind when you speak about Rudyard Kipling?
Rudyard Kipling is the writer of Jungle Book, and he was a famous work is Kim also.
Okay, we will see some of his works later. So let's see something about his childhood. Yes, Aman.
He was born in Bombay in British India.
And his parents were?
His parents were John Kipling and Alice Kipling.
Yes, then he was sent to a boarding school in?
England.
Okay, so he is born in India but educated in England. Yes, and he also joined prestigious military academy. Okay, so he had such a good background, right? He had such a strong foundation. Yes, here you see
Jungle Book.
the Jungle Book. So some of his works are
Captain Courageous, in spite of its sense adventure, is burnt by excessive destructive writing. Kim,
yeah,
the Jungle Book,
yeah.
the second Jungle Book.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jungle Book became so famous among the kids. So the second Jungle Book was also a writing. Okay. So you can see various writings of Rudyard Kipling.
Plain Tales from the Hills, 1888. American Notes, 1891. Barak Room Ballads, 1892. The Jungle Book, 1894. The Seven Seas, 1896. The Day Works, 1898.
The Day's Work, 1898. Okay. The Jungle Book, 1894 is very important. Please note down the year. Right. So let's enter the story. Before that, let's have some more details about his life. Okay. So Rudyard Kipling lived between
1865-1936.
okay 1865. So he was born in the 19th century and he lived till the mid 20th century. Okay, and he lived during the World War. Yeah, so that was his time. So you know when he was born, right? So he is one of the best known of the late
Victorian poets and the storytellers.
Yes. So if you go to class 8, you will learn a lot of romantic poets and Victorian poets. Okay. So he was best known of the late Victorian poets and storytellers. He was awarded
the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1997.
in 1907. Please note down this point. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1907. He was also a prodigiously
Gifted writer who created works for
inarguable. Okay, prodigious means what? Great writer. Okay, you should have heard of prodigal son, comes from that word. Okay, so the Jungle Book, first published in
1894, remained part of popular culture through the many movie versions made and remade
Remakes.
since the 1960s.
So there were a lot of movies which were made and remade. Okay, so it became so popular among the kids and also among the grown-ups around the world. So it got first published in 1894. Please note this. What do you see here?
Rudyard Kipling.
Okay, he is in the stamp. Can you see?
Yeah.
People who are famous, who are known for something great, they get into the stamps, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they get printed in the stamps. Okay, so let's go to a chapter.
Golu grows a nose.
Okay, yeah, we'll read the foreword, please. What is the introduction?
There was a time when the elephant had no trunk. Golu, a baby elephant with a bulgy nose, is full of questions. He goes to the Limpopo River to find out more about the crocodile's eating habits.
Okay, so who is the character in a story?
Golu,
Golu. Who is he?
a baby elephant with a bulgy nose,
Yes.
is full of questions.
Okay, so
He's
he
very
goes.
curious.
He's very curious. Yeah, he had a lot of questions. Okay, so he goes to the.
Limpopo River,
Where is that river situated?
situated in
Africa,
Africa.
right? Okay, South Africa. Okay, so let's enter the story. You know the background now. There is Golu, a baby elephant. You know that baby elephants are so naughty. They look so beautiful and cute, right? So we are dealing with one such baby elephant. This is Golu, okay? Yeah, so he goes to the Limpopo River. Let's see what happens first. Yeah, let's read.
Long, long ago, the elephant had no trunk. He had only a bulgy nose as big as a boat. He could wiggle it from side to side, but couldn't pick up things with it. There was a baby elephant called Golu. He too had no trunk, but only a bulgy nose, as small boat. Golu was full of questions. He asked his tall aunt, the ostrich, "Why don't you ever fly like other birds?" Then he asked his tall uncle, the giraffe, "What makes your skin so sporty?" He asked his huge uncle, the hippopotamus, "Why are your eyes always so red?" He asked his hairy uncle, the baboon, "Why do melons taste like melons?" The ostrich, the giraffe, the hippopotamus, and the baboon had no answers to Golu's questions. "Golu is a naughty baby," they said. "He asks such difficult questions."
Okay, so what happens? We know the character of Golu here. So Golu, he had no trunk.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, he doesn't have a trunk. Look at this picture. What does he have in place of a trunk?
A bulgy nose.
Yeah, just a bulgy nose, right? And he wiggled it from side to side. Wiggle means shake.
Shake.
Yeah, to shake from side to side. You say wiggly worm means what? A worm that just, it shakes, right? Yeah, the movement is called wiggle, to wiggle, okay. But couldn't pick up things with it. So he could not do anything with his trunk, right? So what did he do?
He asked
Different kind of
different
questions.
kind of questions.
First question went to,
He asked his tall aunt, the ostrich.
okay. Ostrich is addressed as aunt here, okay. So he asked,
"Why don't you
ever fly like other birds?
other birds?" Yes.
Okay. Then he asked his tall uncle giraffe, what?
"What makes your skin so sporty?"
So spotty. So he asked the spotty giraffe, why is your skin so spotty? He asked his huge uncle hippopotamus.
"Why are your eyes always so red?"
Okay. And he asked baboon.
Why do melons taste like melons?"
What is a baboon? Baboon is a monkey, right? A baboon has a face like a dog, okay? So that kind of a monkey it is, right? One day, yeah.
Golu met the Myna bird sitting in the middle of a bush, and he asked her, "What does the crocodile have for dinner?" The Myna said, "Go to the banks of the great grassy Limpopo River and find out."
Okay, so we should also mention this. So what was the answer of, what was the reply to Golu given by all these animals?
Golu is a naughty baby.
Okay, they said he asked
Such difficult questions.
okay, sometimes even children come out with such kind of questions. Sometimes they always ask questions. Okay, there might be some children like that. You're actually you're supposed to answer all these questions, right? Else their curiosity may stop. Anyway, so Golu met a Myna bird now. So you should know what all animals are mentioned here. Okay, so he meets a Myna bird now sitting in the middle of a bush, and he asked her, "What?
What does the crocodile have for dinner?" The Myna said, "Go to the banks of the great grassy Limpopo River and find out."
Okay, now his question is what does
the
crocodile have for dinner? Okay, right. So people who have questions, you know, they have all kinds of questions. You can't expect such a question. Yeah. So he didn't get answer because he was known to give that or put forward such difficult questions. Okay, Golu went home.
Golu went home. He took 100 sugar canes, 50 dozen bananas, and 25 melons. Then he said to his family, "Goodbye. I'm going to the great grassy Limpopo River. I will find out what the crocodile has for dinner." He had never seen a crocodile and didn't know what one looked like.
Okay, so he never saw a crocodile. So those were the times we didn't have internet, so he could not search and find out how the crocodile looks like. Okay, a crocodile didn't live in his habitat, okay, in his place. So he didn't have an idea about the crocodile. So he wanted to meet a crocodile. So he is now setting his journey, right? He goes to find that out. He met a
python and asked him, "Have you ever seen a crocodile? What does he look like? What does he have for dinner?"
Okay, so he meets a python by the way, right? On the way, and he asks about crocodile to the python. The python uncoiled himself
from the branch of a tree, but said nothing. Golu politely helped him to coil around the branch again and said goodbye to him.
Okay, so he uncoils himself, the python. See, he coils in a tree, so he uncoiled himself. Now Golu is helping him to coil again. Okay, so what happens here? Python has no
answer.
No answer. So Golu keeps on moving, right? So Golu meets the crocodile face to face. He gets the python's help when he needs it most. Golu grows a long and useful nose. So that's what we're going to find out in the next section. So let's see what happens. Golu moved on.
Golu moved on, eating sugar canes, bananas and melons. After a few days, he reached the very edge of the great grassy Limpopo River. On the bank of the river, he saw a long log of wood.
Okay, on the bank of the river, he saw a log of wood, a piece of wood, right? Yeah.
But it was really the crocodile who winked at him. "Excuse me," said Golu, "have you ever seen a crocodile?"
Oh, okay. So it is actually a crocodile that he met.
Yes.
He thought that it is a log of wood. Yeah, crocodiles have that habit of lying down so flat, and you feel like they are looking like rocks, right? They sit so still. So the baby elephant thought that it is a log of wood that is lying down there. "Have you ever seen a crocodile?" he asked. The crocodile winked again and lifted half his tail out of the mud. "Come here, little one," said the crocodile. "Why do you ask such questions?" Okay, now the crocodile is getting a bit serious, okay, and he says, "Come here, little one." So imagine the danger here. You should not go near a crocodile. So let's see what happens.
"I want to know. Come close, little one, for I am the crocodile." And he shed crocodile tears to show it was quite true.
Okay, so he says, "Come close, little one." So he wants to just get him closer and closer. He says, "Come close. I am the crocodile, and he shed crocodile tears to show it was quite true. Okay, so that is the reality, right? So he could see those tears. What do you mean by crocodile tears?
Crocodile's tears.
Means what? What do you call in Malayalam?
Mudalakanni.
Mudalakannir, right? So it has a background. That's how it got into a usage. Okay, it's an idiom. Please write down this word. It is an idiom. You wrote this word idiom recently when you wrote the portfolio work. So idiom is a kind of usage. Okay, Modalakannir or crocodile tears means when you do not actually cry, right? Yes. You do it, you fake it. Okay, not real. Okay, such a situation is called, or such tears are called crocodile tears. Please write down an insincere display of grief. That is what is called crocodile tears. And insincere, sincere opposite is insincere. Insincere display of grief, showing grief by crying, which is not real, which does not come from the heart. That's called crocodile tears. Okay, yeah. So he even showed his tears and he could see it. Okay, it's a joke here. Okay, Rudyard Kipling is trying to give you some joke. He is known for writing for kids. He is very famous for the children's books. So he is giving some kind of a joke here. Okay.
Golu was afraid, but he sat down on the bank and said, "You are the very person I was looking for. Please tell me what you have for dinner. Come here, little one, and I will whisper the answer to you," said the crocodile. Golu put his head down close to the crocodile's snout, and the crocodile caught him by the nose.
Okay, so what happened? So the elephant said, "I was waiting to meet you. You are the very person I wanted to meet." So what does the crocodile say? Come here, little one,
and I will whisper the answer to you.
Okay, he says, "Come near to me, and I will whisper in your ears."
Yes.
Okay, and what did he do? When Golu went close to him, he just caught him by the nose. So nose is the easy thing that he could get hold of. So he caught the nose of the elephant. Golu. Okay.
I think, said the crocodile, today a baby elephant will be my dinner.
"Let me go, you're hurting me, Mr. Crocodile," screamed Golu.
Yeah.
Now Golu now understands the danger. Yeah. So how it would be to get stuck in between those teeth or the jaws of crocodile. You should see the teeth of a crocodile. They point inwards, okay, so that a prey does not escape. Okay, so Golu is in danger now. Okay. The
python, who had been quietly following Golu, came to the bank and said, "If you do not pull as hard as you can, the crocodile will drag you into the stream."
Okay, so what does Python say? Python, what did he do? Python actually followed Golu.
Yeah.
So Python could sense that Golu is going into some mischief.
Yes.
And he is running into some danger. So Python followed Golu and he watched what all happened, and he says, if you do not try to pull it so hard, what he will do? He will take you into the stream and he will eat you. That's it. Okay. Golu sat back on his little haunches and pulled and pulled. Okay, haunches means what? His back. Okay, the elephant's back. It is a usual word not only for the elephant. The back side is called haunches. So he is sitting in his little haunches. We use this word because it's a small elephant. Okay, so it is so cuddly and so cute. That's why we say little haunches and pulled and pulled. So Rudyard Kipling is using such kind of words because he has written it for children. Okay, the crocodile slipped into the water, making it all creamy with great sweeps of his tail, and he also pulled and pulled. So the stream became creamy because all the mud rose and it became creamy. Means what? The water became muddy. It happens when you step inside a stream, right? The mud rises and it becomes so creamy. And the crocodile also pulled. Yeah.
Then the python coiled himself from Golu's stomach and said, "Let's pull harder." Golu dug in all his forelegs in the mud and pulled. The nose kept on stretching. At each pull, the nose grew longer and longer, and it hurt Golu. The nose was now 5 feet long, but it was free at last.
Okay, so the crocodile also is pulling him, and python also python is saving,
Yes.
right? The python is trying to save our elephant, so he is trying to pull back. Can you see he is coiled in the tree, he is trying to pull back Golu. On the other side, the crocodile is pulling
into the stream.
Yeah, so it is a kind of tug of war that's going on. Okay, right. Okay. So what
Golu sat down with his nose wrapped up in a big banana leaf and hung it in the great grassy Limpopo river to cool.
Okay, at last he let him go.
Yeah.
What happened is the trunk or the snout became long.
Yeah, 5 feet long.
Yeah, it became 5 feet long. Okay. So that's how he got the trunk. So it's a kind of a folk tale, okay? There is no reality, but it's a folk tale. Okay, such stories we call folk tale. Please write down that point. So he sat down with his nose wrapped up in a big banana leaf and hung it in the great grassy Limpopo river to cool. So he keeps it in the river to cool it. Okay. Yeah.
At the end of the second day, a fly came and struck Golu on the shoulder. Golu lifted his long nose trunk and with it hit the fly dead.
Okay, so now fly sits on the back of the elephant. What did he do? He just put his trunk back
And
over to the back and then
hit the fly.
hit the fly dead. Okay.
Advantage number 1. He's the python. You couldn't have done it with a small nose. Try and eat a little now.
Okay, so can you see python is so clever here. He's such a good friend of Golu.
Yeah.
And what does he say? Advantage number 1. Okay, so you understand that there are more advantages. Okay, so advantage number 1, hiss the python. Hiss means what? The sound made by a snake. Okay, you couldn't have done it with a small nose. Try and eat a little now. Okay, so if the nose was so small, he couldn't have hit the fly. Now he says, okay, now have some food. Golu, so he didn't have food for 2 days. It is said that he'll lie there for 2 days. Okay. Now Golu put out his trunk and plucked a large bundle of grass.
He dusted it against his forelegs and stuffed into his mouth.
Okay. So what did he do? He took a bunch of grass, bundle of grass, and he just ate it. Advantage number
2. He's the python. You couldn't have done it with a small nose. Don't you think the sun is too hot now?
Okay, so he says this is advantage number 2. You can even eat with your long trunk now.
Yes.
Don't you think the sun is too hot now? Now it becomes too hot.
Too hot.
Okay, yeah. When it is midday, we see that the sun is too hot. Now what happens?
Golu scooped up some mud from the bank and slapped it on his head.
So what did he do?
Scooped up some mud from the bank and slapped on his head.
Okay, can you see this word scoop? We say ice cream scoop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he scooped mud and he put it on the back, slapped it. Okay. So why do the elephants do this?
Don't know.
There is a clue here. It was becoming hot, right?
Yeah.
So they play with the mud in order to make themselves cool. Yeah. So usually the elephants love to do this kind of activities. Okay. You should have seen such videos. Elephants take a lot of mud and put on top of their body in order to cool themselves during midday. Okay. So Golu scooped and he put the mud on top of him. Advantage number 3.
He's the python. You couldn't have done it with a small nose.
Thank you, Mr. Python, said Golu gratefully. I'll remember all this.
And now I will go back to my family.
Okay, so that's the story by Rudyard Kipling. Can you see it is?
Simplified and abridged.
Abridged means what?
Abridgment?
Cut short. Okay, the actual story is not so short. It has been made short in order to accommodate in one chapter. Okay, so that it is actually a book. Okay, or a longer piece of work, it has been abridged and simplified for you to read. Okay, it will not be so simple because he is a great writer, and we know that he went to England and he should have developed such a good language, right. Okay, so there are some questions here. So let's see if you can answer the question. So I'll read out the question, you will try to answer it. Okay. Whom does Golu ask, why don't you ever fly like other birds?
Ostrich is
Yeah,
tall
so-
and
Yeah. So he asked, Golu asked the ostrich that why don't you ever fly like other birds? We know that ostriches are flightless birds. Okay, they can't fly. So Golu was curious why she was not flying like other birds. Okay, which uncle of Golu had red eyes?
hippopotamus.
It's quite easy, right?
Yes.
So you should answer in full sentence, okay, not only in one word. So how will you write?
Angle of
Which uncle of Golu had red eyes? Okay,
hippopotamus.
is the uncle of Golu who had, yeah,
red
is the uncle of Golu, we said, who had red eyes. That's how you have to say. Okay, next question. Golu's relatives did not answer his questions because, which
Golu
is,
was a naughty
okay, so I didn't read out the options. They were shy, the questions were too difficult, Golu was a
naughty.
naughty boy. So they think so. Okay. So this is also a apt answer, I think. The questions were too difficult for them to answer. Okay. Who advised Golu to go to the Limpopo river?
The Myna bird.
Myna bird, right?
Myna bird advised Golu to go to the Limpopo river.
Okay, yes, very good. Why did Golu go to the river?
Golu go to the river.
Went to the river
Went to the river.
because
he want to know
he wanted to know.
crocodile what eats in dinner.
Okay, what the crocodile has for his dinner. Okay. The crocodile lay on the bank of the Limpopo river. Golu thought it was
A living crocodile.
a dead crocodile, a log of wood.
A log of wood.
Of course, log of wood. It's an easy answer, right? What did the crocodile do to show that it was a real crocodile?
Crocodile tears.
Yeah. So he shed tears in order to show that
He is a real crocodile.
real crocodile. You know why such a usage came into the usage, I mean in this language, crocodile tears? It is believed that the crocodile cries when it eats its prey, like a deer or any animal that it catches hold of. It is said that he cries or tears fall out. Okay, maybe he is crying because his mouth is full, maybe so, we don't know, but it is said that he cries. That's why we say modala kannir, okay, right. Yeah, so he shed tears, and that's how he could, Golu could know that he is a real crocodile. Okay, come here little one and I'll whisper the answer to you. The crocodile said this because he couldn't stand up, he wanted to eat Golu, or Golu was deaf.
He want to eat
Yeah,
Golu.
he wanted to eat Golu, of course. So he said, come here, come close to me, I'll whisper in your ears. Who helped Golu on the bank of the river?
Python helped Golu on the bank of the river.
Yes, Python is a good friend of Golu. He followed Golu because he knows about Golu and he thinks that it's a baby elephant, it will need help. So he followed him and he helped him and he saved its life. Okay. Name two things the elephant can do with his trunk and two he cannot. Okay, we saw some advantages, right? So what can he do with his trunk?
Yeah.
Three things are mentioned here. Advantage number 1, 2 and 3. Okay, he can hit a fly with his trunk, that is 1.
Yes.
He can eat, he can have some food, right?
Yeah.
That is advantage number 2. What is 3? Put mud on top.
Mud on the.
Yeah, so 3 things he can do with his trunk and 2 he cannot. That the question is left to you now. It's not in the story. We have to think what he cannot. Okay, right. Okay, he can do a lot of things with his trunk. He can take water, right? He can spray water. He can breathe with his trunk, right? Okay, right. Laughter at sea. A passenger boat was moving slowly on a thick fog, in a thick fog. Okay. On deck, an old man, rather frightened, asked a sailor, "How far are we from land?" "Half a mile," he answered. "Where?" said the old man. "Straight down," was the reply. So it is a joke. Okay. So it is very foggy. So the man in the boat asked, "How far are we from the land?" Okay. So he is meaning the shore.
Yeah.
So half a mile, he answered. Where?
Straight down.
Straight down. Okay. So this is the end of the lecture, and we come to the close of this lecture series. Okay. And this is Aman Mansoor, and I think you should have enjoyed hearing the story of Rudyard Kipling. And there is a moral of the story. What can you think of? What is the moral of the story? Rudyard Kipling usually gives this kind of morals to children. Okay, can you think of a moral?
The moral of this story is over curiosity is dangerous.
Yes, if you become more curious, then it leads to some dangers. So always you should be careful about anyone. Okay, so you see that the baby elephant goes near the crocodile, which is too dangerous, right? So that is the moral of the story. And also the story also gives you a message that experience is the best teacher. Okay, experience is the best teacher. So this is the story. All of you write down all the important points, and we shall meet in the interaction class. Okay, see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Green Valley Public School, Nellikaparamba, Mukkam, Calicut.